Oh my goodness, man. I wish y'all could have seen my face when I saw that this apartment is $4 million. I
Damn.
cried, bro. I genuinely laughed so hard that I was in tears, and my wife was just looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong
Nigga
with
said
him?
dork.
Look at
You're a little old fan. You're an Osama son fan. I'll be back in 15-ish
the
probably. Okay.
floor, bro. Look at this bathroom. 900 square feet, and it doesn't even say 3 bedrooms. This is simply
He's
a
married. I
3-room
know.
apartment. 4 million. But this, believe it or not, could be your ticket to the most exclusive club on the planet. With the simple
Monaco.
purchase of this dingy little apartment, you can gain
Ooh. What are y'all thinking? What are we thinking? Is this Kim K? What the fuck? This bitch look like her. What are we thinking? You like Slayer? Slayer is hard though. Slayer's the hardest rapper in the underground and in the mainstream. Argue with your mama.
most exclusive club on the planet. With the simple purchase of this dingy little apartment, you can gain the ability to travel freely between 29 countries, basically all of Western Europe. You'll never have to
Okay.
pay taxes, and you can become a
Oh, if you live in Monaco, you can. If you become a resident in Monaco, you get access to the EU.
resident
Okay.
of a country that eliminated poverty, allegedly, and has the highest percentage of millionaires in one country, with anywhere from 40 to 70% of this country being millionaires. Imagine that. That's insane. And this citizenship isn't just open to anyone who can afford it. You have to also be important. This is Monaco,
You have to. Why do you have to be important? I thought you could just buy in.
a place where being born here is quite literally a privilege. And I'll get into that. A place where
We got a lamb truck. I think. I don't know cars. What am I doing?
being born here is quite literally a privilege,
Are these,
and I'll get into that. But it occurred to me when I was on a rant about rich people moving to Dubai and pretending that living there was a privilege, as if they were a part of some exclusive club of crypto bro scammers and their lip filler concubines. And if you saw my last Dubai video,
crypto bros, scammers, and their lip filler concubines.
then
Okay.
I was wondering if they wanted to live somewhere safe, rich, and exclusive, why not Monaco? But then
Why is he
people
dressed
started
like a
to
tech
remind
bro
me
though?
that
You can't just choose to live in Monaco, by the way. That's why it's actually nice. Monaco is for really wealthy people, not influencers. They can't afford Monaco. They don't go to Monaco since broke people are not allowed to live there. Monaco is way too expensive to be appearing rich without being rich, okay?
these guys don't live in
Shout out to the Monaco defenders.
Monaco because they probably
These niggas, the Monaco police. These niggas, the moniker defenders. Moniker defenders. Monaco defenders. The Monaco
can't
military.
afford it. And then I realized
The
that the
Monaco
rulers of the
Defense Force.
UAE are quite literally trying to replicate Monaco, but they can't. This type of
Go
elitism is
outside.
not easily recreated.
What am I
This
do
is
outside?
centuries of basically ensuring that in this country, people almost never have to see the pores. The
The
hoops you have to
pores.
jump through to get residency in this country made me realize that even with ICE and Donald Trump's strict immigration policies, it is still 100 times easier to get residency in America. Because believe it
Mm.
or not, you can still get residency in the US from a green card by having a quote, extraordinary ability, which can literally just mean you're a model, or even if you got a visa from being a victim of a crime. But for Monaco, if you want to be a resident, for one, you need to have a bank account in the country with at least $500,000 in it. Pretty
Oh,
reasonable. You must also own some real estate, which, in case it wasn't obvious from the $4 million apartment,
it's
Monaco has the
expensive.
most expensive real estate on the planet. By far. I mean, for almost $2 million cheaper than this apartment, you could get a 2 bedroom, 3 bathroom house with a pool and a waterfall in the Hollywood Hills. But if you don't own any real estate, you can also try to get residency by proving that you rent an apartment, but you still can't look poor. Like if you have a partner and proving that you rent an apartment, but you still can't look poor. Like if you have a partner and a kid, you need to at least have 2 bedrooms for this rental to actually count. But if you somehow check all the boxes and manage to obtain residency, well now, you can't participate in the one thing Monaco is known for. So when you see all these videos of supercars pulling up and people taking pictures where you can just smell the generational wealth, they're all pulling up to the Monte Carlo casino. This is the most famous casino in the world. The cheapest room at the hotel across the street from it is $1,100 a night for a
Damn.
344 square foot room, which is
It's not that bad.
small. But once you become a resident, you are not allowed to gamble at this casino, nor are you even allowed to enter a gambling room. You can't gamble at
Oh,
any casino in the country, actually. You can't even work at one. And the
why
reason was
not?
supposedly because a princess in the 1800s said it was immoral, but the real reason is they don't want you going broke because of the casino. Because then you'd be a broke citizen of Monaco. which is a big
You couldn't sneak in? I mean, you could. I think you can just because there are people that I looked this up like a while ago. Like they have to have like niggas that work in Monaco. They have to have niggas that like what's it called? They have to have service workers. So the service workers and like janitors, custodians, shit like that, they come in from France, like around Monaco, because Monaco is in France. So like they'll have niggas coming from Nice or whatever, and they'll be the service workers. So you could sneak in, probably, I think.
big no-no. And I always wondered why people would crowd around the entrance and just watch people hop out of supercars, but apparently this is as close as they can get. Because some people gamble and lose everything. Like some of the people living in the tunnels under Las Vegas said they became homeless because they couldn't stop gambling in the casinos. And Monaco, allegedly, has 0% homelessness. And as I said, some estimates put the number of millionaires at 12 to 13,000, which is a huge portion of the country's 38,000 residents. Because it's a country, but it's also just a city. It's a city-state, which for
Yeah.
comparison is smaller than Central Park in New York. But with Monaco being a playground for the rich, there is, of course, a lot more than just gambling going on in this city. So, being a lady of the night is legal in Monaco, and I'm sure the old
Oh,
rich guys love it. But doing it as part of an organization is illegal. Like, there are red light
uh-huh.
districts, but it's illegal for an institution or a business to be
I don't speak French. What if I just smile and nod at everything? You think I could wing it? Mm, are you black? If so, then probably not. You'd be like they would think you're like a Sudanese nigga or some shit.
based around it. And
Nah.
yet,
Unless you're really good at soccer, no, bro.
several links
It's
on the
not happening.
internet lead me to believe that somebody is violating this law. As to be in this profession in Monaco, you must do it independently. And women being brought in or forced into this line of work has never been reported to be a problem in Monaco, but there are a few areas of concern that I noticed. So, the Monaco Grand Prix is quite possibly the
Is
most
that wait,
prestigious
is that
tournament that I noticed.
my dog Lewis Hamilton?
So, the Monaco Grand Prix is quite
I'm light skinned, you think I could pass off as something else? Shit. Shit, Mbappe's light skinned. I'm trying to think. Nah, they just think you're like North African or some
possibly the
shit.
most prestigious racing event in the world. And during this event, there is
They
a
think you're
huge
like
increase in
Algerian.
Lady of the Night activities. But at a UN committee on this subject, a member of the United Nations Human Rights Committee, Dalia Lenart, who is also an international human rights expert and historian, when speaking to Monaco's representative, she questioned if Monaco had ever evaluated a possible link
But actually, I don't even think most of the people there speak French. Or like they might speak French, but I think a lot of people there probably speak English and shit
between the
too, though,
profession being
to be
legal
honest.
and people being exploited or trafficked as a result of it. And part of the
Because
reason
most of
she
the people there aren't French
raised
people.
this question was due to the fact that most women involved were coming across the border from France. And Monaco's response was that although the government was aware of what was happening, they have never investigated it. Which is an honest but crazy answer, especially considering that the country has what the UN describes as a non existent border. Because with something like this being legal, along
See,
with an
you could
open
sneak
border,
in.
you'd think it would create a problem. And it seems that it already had. As according to a March 26 article in Hello Monaco, a news publication in the city, a 25-year-old woman from Spain was arrested and fined on a possession charge. But apparently, she was only in Monaco because a man in Dubai had seduced her and convinced her to offer her services to other men, but when he lured her to Monaco, he disappeared. And upset about this, she decided to get intoxicated on a few substances, which led to her arrest. And that was just an individual case. A bigger one that really led me to believe something bigger was going on was the conclusion of a 2024 trial involving a very famous restaurant and bar, the Sass Cafe, as well as a new verdict in this case handed down in 2025. Now,
You think
this
they
is
be
a
doing
very
nose
famous
candy?
bar.
Come on, is that a real question? Of course they're doing it there, nigga. Of course they are, bro. Of course, nigga, if they're doing it at some college here, why wouldn't they do it
And it's
there?
been
That's
known to
like,
serve some of the most famous people in the world, like
that's they
Michael
shit.
Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo, Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, LeBron, Lady Gaga, and
Damn,
many, many
Mbappe.
more. Needless to say, this is a
They
very
got
prestigious
Braun.
establishment. But in 2020, two escorts tipped off the police
They
that
got Thierry Henry. No, KD.
illegal activity was occurring in the area. If you're going to
Is that Zendaya? No, it's not.
offer services in
Damn, bro.
Monaco, you have to do it independently. But The investigation
Is it legal there? Uh,
into
probably.
the bar that followed showed that it was actually
I mean, even if it's not legal, they probably allow it. Like, come on, bro.
violating this law because staff
Come
members
on,
in the
bro.
bar
Like
were
all of these
connecting
niggas do
women
it.
with clients.
It's damn near not illegal here. Like niggas do that shit here, and nobody cares for real. Like commonly. Damn, this Diddy Island is
And
almost
there was
there.
also a Russian woman who owned
Shit, it's another island, nigga.
apartments in Monaco that was
It's
renting
not
them
funny.
out to these women so they'd have a place to take their clients. And it was even alleged that potential customers would know exactly where to go to find these women because they would be at a table marked with a T, which stood
Trevor,
for
you.
travailleuse, which is French
Yeah, Travailler is work in
for
French.
female worker. Now, according to the owner, neither he or the cafe directly profited from this practice. But what was clear is that some of the staff members profited at least $40,000 a year just on tips alone from facilitating these services. And the trial
Damn.
was over in 3 days, with the owner and former manager being found not guilty, while two security guards were sentenced to 12 and 18 months in prison, although it
You
was
took French in
suspended.
school? Nah, I just like I've been wanting to learn French for mad long, so like I go into it and then I stop. So I know like some French words and shit, but I can't like put together a sentence or anything.
They likely just
Same
served
with
his time
Spanish. I know a little more Spanish. Like I can hear a little bit, but not
on
completely.
probation.
And I can't say anything in
Another
Spanish for
employee
real.
got 4 months, and the Russian woman who rented out her apartments without a lease received an 8 month sentence, which she might have had to
But by the end of this year though, I want to be better at least
actually
Spanish.
serve in prison. And this trial concluded on May 14th, 2024. But about a year later, on May 5th, 2025, the Court of Appeals overturned the acquittals of both the former manager and the owner. But it's strange how they were both acquitted and only the Court of Appeals held them responsible after the original trial. Because apparently that court thought they were guilty, which means that they were aware, if not complicit, in the crime. But the Russian woman's crime of renting out apartments in Monaco without a lease seemed to be the one the court treated the most severely, as her 8 month sentence did not appear to be suspended,
So
which
you
makes
know
it
bench? I know bench. French you mean.
look like the country cared more about people renting their apartments without a lease than they did about the actual crime the club was accused of. But what's even more interesting is that the two people who tipped off the police that caused the investigation in the first place actually reported drug trafficking. But that
Nah,
investigation
bench.
apparently
What is
went nowhere.
bench? What that mean? I know bench.
But you get the point I'm trying to make. Part of the system here seems open to
Oh, black
exploitation,
French.
and it would seem
Is
that
that
the
what that
country
is?
cared more about people renting out apartments without a
Bullshit
lease than
French. No, I
anything
don't know
else. But
bullshit
I'm not
French.
saying that all of this is common in Monaco, because it is one of the safest cities in the world, and it has one of the highest police officer to resident ratios in the world. Definitely the
Damn.
highest in Europe, aside from Vatican City. And Monaco is not really open to change. I mean, they've had the same ruling family since the 1200s. But that's just Monaco. I thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, they have a ruling family. It's not even like a. It's interesting, bro. Like, why did France never decide to just make them a regular city?